Welcome back, friends. Last weekend we saw Hong Kong protests continue, and this time on an even more vigorous route. Now, the problem is that the protesters do not want to relent. They want to continue protesting until the government relents in terms of recognizing the identification and doing things to increase the land bank and thus try and cool down the real estate prices in Hong Kong. Now, the Chinese government, on the other hand, are refusing to relent. They want to try and use the force to cool down these protesters. Neither of these things are possible, and it is becoming extremely difficult to understand how exactly the Hong Kong imbroglio will be finally resolved. Coming to the NATO summit in London last week, there was a video which was released showing Justin Trudeau of Canada, Emmanuel Macron of France, and Boris Johnson of UK, respective leaders, exchanging some jokes regarding President Donald Trump's 45 minutes plus press conferences. Justin Trudeau even talks about that he had seen the jaws of the team members of, apparently referring to Donald Trump, jaws of their team members falling down. Donald Trump hits back, says that, well, Trudeau is a nice guy, but I asked him to pay his 2% share for the NATO and he refused, didn't like it much. So that's why he has come out with all these different observations. In any event, I believe the reason I am pointing out this, that the political situation seems to be growing a little grim. There seems to be differences growing between what were former allies of the United States. That's not a very happy situation as far as the trade talks concerned. It is quite likely at a certain point of time there may be lot of levies and tariffs imposed on each other by these various allies. They don't seem to be seeing eye to eye, and this is all that I'm trying to point out. India continues to face problems of GDP growth falling quite rapidly. Raghuram Rajan calls it as being technically in a growth recession. The only person who seems to be really happy in India is P. Chidambaram, the former finance minister who was released from Tihar jail after 106 days in custody. I do not know whether he was having onions or he was having avocados in Tihar jail, but it definitely seems to have done him a good, and he seemed to be quite fresh and ready to take on questions with the media. Well, that's another matter that the Supreme Court had laid down as one of the conditions that he should not be addressing the media. In any event, he looked to have gone through a certain detox in the Tihar jail cell. And who knows, Tihar jail cell may be looking more like a Switzerland spa, more than a place for criminals, or for even a former finance minister to undergo certain amount of punishment. Anyway, the whether you like avocados or whether you like onions, I don't know who likes what. The writing is on the wall. There's no doubt that the economy is going through a slowdown, and one can see people in Khan market in New Delhi reducing their consumption of avocados for sure. So it is the growth seems to be coming down, and what were normally people who are really feeding themselves on all these exotic avocado salads and other things in the Khan market seem to have suddenly disappeared. A sign of an economy in great trouble. Coming back to the stock markets, I did mention that today the starting of the week will be good. It's turned out to be nice, but do be careful about a pretty dramatic decline after around 9:30 tomorrow. We should see a sharp decline, and markets could be very much in the negative territory tomorrow. So investors who are just traders need to be very cautious. Tomorrow could be a red day, very negative. People who want to buy some stocks for the short term can look at tomorrow, beaten down prices. And those who are long term investors, however, will have to wait. I think a big correction is round the corner. In any event, whichever way you look at it, tomorrow should be a difficult day, a red day, and stock markets could nosedive. Both the Sensex and Nifty could be in a sea of red tomorrow. So do keep that in mind while investing. And we'll be back tomorrow again, once again, for further predictions for the rest of the week. Happy investing. Take care. Bye bye.